Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Remy. Today I'm going to be talking about my reading goals for 2023. It is currently 2023. I hope you guys had a happy new year. But I have my computer right here because I want to talk about my goals. So I want to talk about my goals and the 23 books I will be reading in 2023, or the 23 books I want to read for 2023. So let's get into the video. I want to talk about my goals first before I talk about the books, so let's get into that. I want to read at least 50 books this year. The reason why I picked 50 books is because it gives me like 4 to 5 books per month. So, yeah, I want to try and hit 50. But if I get to like 30, I won't be upset. Because last year I only read like 12. So, it'll be better than nothing. I want to finish some series that I have been reading. So like Serpent and Dove series, the Inheritance Games. I think that's it. Yeah, those are the only 2 series that I think I want to finish. I do want to start some series. I want to start the ACOTAR series, and I want to start the Addicted to You series. I also want to read the Throne of Glass series and the Crescent City duology, which I think is becoming a trilogy, but I don't know. And then my last goal is to read at least 1 classic. So I want to read more than 1 classic, but I want to make sure that I read at least 1. So yeah, if I read at least 1, I'll be happy. But I do want to read, there is a lot of classics that I want to read. Which maybe I'll do a whole video on that because I have a whole list of classics that I want to read. I have a classics list. I don't know if other people do that. I do that. So now we're going to get into the books that I want to read, the 23 books that I want to read for 2023. I gave myself a thing where I wasn't going to repeat authors on the 23 list, so every single book is by a different author. So the first book I have on this list is ACOTAR, A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas, and I want to finish that entire series this year, so I will be doing that. The next book that I want to read is A Dash of Salt and Pepper by Kosoko Jackson, which I've talked about that in 2 separate videos now. I'm really excited for that book. I love rom-coms. I love them so much, so I'm so excited to read it. I also want to read A Million Kisses in Your Lifetime by Monica Murphy. It's a bully romance is what I've heard, and I know some people don't like it, but I don't know. I think bully romances are cute. Maybe that's because it's kind of how me and my boyfriend are. We kind of bully each other in like a fun way. It's not like we're not bullying each other. You know what I mean? But that's just how we are. So, I mean, I think I would like bully romances. The next book is The Soulmate Equation by Christina Lauren. I want to read all of Christina Lauren's standalones this year. She has a beautiful series, and the Wild series, I believe is what it's called. So I wouldn't be able to read all of her books this year, I don't think, because she has a lot of standalones, and then her beautiful series is I think 10 books or something. So I don't think I'd finish all of her books this year, but I want to at least get through all of her standalones, or at least a good chunk of her standalones. Their standalones. There's 2 people. I don't know why I keep saying her. I don't know. I also want to read The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo by Taylor Jenkins Reid. I have a lot of Taylor Jenkins Reid books that I haven't read yet. I have Daisy Jones and the Six is the first one I picked up. I have not read that yet. The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, Malibu Rising, Forever Interrupted. I have all of those and I have not read them. I want to read those books this year, but I specifically want to read The 7 Husbands of Evelyn Hugo just because of how much hype it has and how much people have recommended stuff like that to me. I want to read Blood and Honey by Shelby Mahurin, which is the second book in the Serpent and Dove series. I did talk about this in my January TBR, and when I think I'm putting myself back into a reading slump because work's been a lot, and we just got a new Xbox, so I've been wanting to play video games instead of read. The next book after The Blood and Honey is The Final Gambit by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I do want to, like I said in my reading goals, finish off the Inheritance Games series. So I'm going to be waiting for the paperback to come out, which comes out in July. So the Inheritance Games series video that I'm talking about will probably not come out until late 2023 because I'm not getting the hardcover. They're all paperback. I'm getting them all paperback. Also, I have my computer right here to show my entire list because I promise you I can't remember all 23 of these books. But the next book is Love in a Time of Serial Killers by Alicia Thompson. I saw this book and I think this girl is writing a thing, or she's like stalking her. I don't know. I can't remember what it's about anymore, but I heard someone say it and I was like, I want to read it. That was so long ago. I think the book came out last year. So when I saw it on the early releases, someone talking about it, I was like, I need to read that. But I never picked it up. Like, I never bought it. But I want to buy it so I can read it for February. I got an Amazon gift card, so I might buy it. The next book is Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. Is that what it is? Yeah, I was right. Okay. I want to start that duology. It's a enemies to lovers romance, so I'm excited. I love I love enemies to lovers. It's cute. It's very cute. The next book is Book Lovers by Emily Henry. So Emily Henry was a unexpected favorite author for me. I read People We Meet on Vacation in Beach Read because I was going to do a video about reading books that I said I never would. And I didn't want to read them because I felt like her books had so much hype, and when they have so much hype, they never live up to their hype, and I didn't think I would enjoy them, but I loved them both. My favorite is Beach Read. I love January. I love Augustus. I love them both so much. So I'm excited to read about, I think it's Charles and her name starts with an N. I don't know. I'm excited to read about them. I heard that they are like publicists. They're not like people that love to read. So I think someone said that they didn't like that about the book because it's called Book Lovers, but I personally don't care. I love the way that Emily Henry writes her romances. So I'm very excited for this book. The next book that I want to read is The Starless Sea by Erin Morgenstern. So ever since I saw this book on a Clockwork Readers video, I think last year or in 2021, the bee on the cover, all of it, I want to read it. I want to read it so bad. And they've since changed the cover, and I want the bee cover. I will find the bee cover. I will buy the bee cover. The only reason I want it is for the bee cover. And then I saw the synopsis of the story, and I was like, now I gotta read it. I gotta read it. It's a book about books. It's great. It's apparently about this guy who finds a book that's a book of his life, and then he starts reading stuff that hasn't happened yet. So I'm very interested to see, because it gives me, it's giving me Supernatural vibes because I'm watching Supernatural right now. But you know how in Supernatural, when Chuck is a prophet and he is like writing the Supernatural series, and he's able to write stuff that hasn't happened to them yet? Like he wrote an entire book series, and then they started reading them, and it's like their entire life, and then he starts writing books of stuff that hasn't happened to them yet. That's what it gives me. That's what it gives me. I know it's not going to be that because Supernatural is a different vibe, I feel like, but I'm still excited to read it. This next book, let me tell you, I've been so excited for this book for so long. The Art of Prophecy by Wesley Chu. This cover has me in a chokehold. Look at it. Look at it. I need this in paperback. I need it. I need it. I need it with my entire being. I need it right now in my hands. Like, I need it. I need it. I need it! The next book is Mr. Mercedes by Stephen King. I want to read Stephen King books. I've loved the movies. I love the concept of Stephen King's novels. My favorites are It, Pet Sematary and The Shining, which are most people's favorites, but The Shining is my ultimate favorite, I feel like. I love that it was based off an actual hotel, that he had this like dream about it. I love the entire aspect of his like writing process and how he wrote that book. Maybe that's because I'm a writer myself and I just like stuff like that. But I am obsessed with Stephen King. But I'm very excited to read Mr. Mercedes. I don't know exactly what it's about, but there's like blood splatters on the cover and there's like an umbrella. So I'm assuming it's murder involved. I don't know. The next book is The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. I've heard so many things about Riley Sager in general, and I'm excited, specifically about this book too. That and Final Girls. I have Final Girls, and I have another Riley Sager book that I want to read. But I've heard a lot about Riley Sager in general, that he's a really good like thriller writer. And I've heard that Final Girls is more of a slasher, and I'm excited. I love stuff like that, so I'm very excited to read it. The next book, which I've already talked about in 2 videos, so is Addicted to You by Kristen and Becca Ritchie. I'm excited to start that series, and, well, excited-ish, because I just kind of want to see what the hype's about. If I don't really like the first book, I don't think I'm going to go into the other books. I might, if I'm iffy about it, I might go in, and if I don't like it by the time I hit, I think Ricochet is like the 3rd book or something, I don't think I'm going to continue. Ricochet is the 2nd book. Okay, so Ricochet is the one I'm more excited about. I think it's just because of the cover, and I love purple, so that's like literally the only reason I'm excited for that book. But I have no clue what really. I just know that each book is a different couple, but they're all connected, and they're all like friends or something. I don't know. I don't really know exactly what it's about, but the next book is The Goldfinch by Donna Tartt. I watched a video recently. I think I talked about it in my Write With Me video about, I can't remember. It's by Chris something. I'll pop her, like, I'm subscribed to her, so I'll find her and I'll put her face up somewhere. But she was doing a video where she writes in different writing styles, and she did a video where she wrote in Donna Tartt's like writing method. And I honestly really love Donna Tartt's writing method. I took aspects of it for myself for the Write With Me video. I like her writing method. I like that way that she does it. So I feel like I would like her books. So I'm going to start with The Goldfinch. And then I think I want to read The Secret History, but I'm not 100% sure. Because I've heard it's a lot like If We Were Villains by M.L. Rio. And I really can't get into that book. I've tried like 3 times. And I don't know if it's because of the Shakespeare aspect of that book, but I cannot get into it. Like, I always stop at like chapter 7, and I don't like want to continue. Like, I understand what the story's about. It sounds interesting, but I can't get into it. But I want to read it because I bought it, and like, anyways, I do want to read Donna Tartt's books. And the next book I want to read is I Must Betray You by Ruta Sepetys. I love her as an author. I had to read Between the Shades of Grey in 8th grade because it's a historical fiction about the Holocaust and like basically following this Russian girl and how the Russians were sent to concentration camps during the Holocaust. It was such a great book. It pulls on your heartstrings in different ways, and there's like a kind of romance in that book. But I never thought I would love historical fiction, but just the way that Ruta Sepetys writes historical fiction is just so good. The next book is If He Had Been With Me by Laura Nowlin. I've heard so many things about this book, and if something could describe my book taste, it is the TikTok video that I saw that says POV, you find comfort in sadness. That is 100% my book taste. I love sad books, love tragedies. I love all of it. I love something that can pull at my heartstrings in certain ways and make me feel for this character. I'm a very empathetic person, so it's easy to do. But I just love books like that. I love sad romances like Our Chemical Hearts by, what is it? What's her name? Crystal Sutherland. Oh my god, I just knew it was a K. I couldn't remember. I just like books that are sad, and I've heard this book is really sad, and and apparently there's going to be a second book that comes out that's in like the dude's point of view or something, but I'm very excited to read it because I want something that will make me cry. The next book that I want to read is Rock, Paper, Scissors by Alice Feeney. I've heard that she's a really good thriller writer, but I've heard a lot about Rock, Paper, Scissors specifically, so I am excited to read that. The next book is Hidden in the Snow by Viveka Sten? Viveka, not Vecta. I keep wanting to add a T. Viveka Sten. The cover is like, captivating. It's not much. It's just snow with some footprints and a person. But I was like, I need to read that. Like, I don't know what it's about. I think I did read it on Goodreads. It's about a detective who's like off duty or like in a different state or like she's not in her jurisdiction or something. I don't know. Retired. I don't remember. But she can't help but follow or help the police on this specific case that she's interested in. So, you kind of follow her through that, and I love a good mystery with detectives in it, let me tell you. I'm a very eclectic reader. I will read anything. The next book is The Maidens by Alexander... Is it Alexander or Alex? Alex Michaelides? I'm not good at last names, guys. You know, we're going to say Michael. Alexander Michaelides. Anyways, I've heard a lot about The Silent Patient, and I was going to read that first, but The Maidens cover, I'm just like, I kind of want to read that one more. So I will be reading The Silent Patient hopefully this year, but I do want to read The Maidens. I almost picked The Silent Patient up when I went to the Barnes & Noble, but I was like, no. I'm glad I didn't because I got books that I would like to read way better. But the next book is The Hunting Party by Lucy Foley. I've heard very mixed views on her writing and her books. Some people like love her books, so they feel like meh about her books, but I've never seen anyone hate her books other than I think The Paris Apartment, that's what it's called. I've heard people say bad things about The Paris Apartment specifically, but and I think I watched a video where a girl said The Hunting Party was boring, but I think she gave it a 3 or 2 or something. I haven't heard like extremely bad reviews on hers. I've just heard like meh and like this is really good. So I, will determine. I want to like dabble in Lucy Foley a little bit. And what's worse going to happen? I don't like it, I donate it. Whatever. Books I don't like that I give a 1 star or I DNF, I donate them so other people can enjoy them. There's no reason for me to keep them if I don't like them. That's just how I feel about it. I donate it to a local bookstore or I will give it to a friend or something like that. And the last book for the 23 books of 2023 is my classic, A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens. I will be reading more classics this year. I do want to read Wuthering Heights and Pride and Prejudice this year. But on my 23 books for 2023, A Tale of Two Cities by Charles Dickens is something that I'm extremely excited for. I watched Throne of Pages read this book on their YouTube channel, and Charles Dickens is a very intimidating writer, but Throne of Pages made it less intimidating for me when I watched them read it. I think it was a reading blog, I'm pretty sure. And the way that they talked about this book, it made me excited, and I think this is the Charles Dickens books that I want to start with. I do want to read A Christmas Story. Is that what it's called? A Christmas Carol. I want to read A Christmas Carol. I know it's a very classic story. It's been made into movies and stuff like that, but I want to read the original. I've never read it before. But I think if you guys want, I will do a video on all the classics that I want to read. But that is, I think everything for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Like, comment, subscribe, do all that fun stuff if you enjoyed this video. I hope you guys have a wonderful year, and I wish you guys all the best reading years all around. All good reading years. The best reading year you've ever had. Everybody get it. If you don't like reading, sorry. You're going to have a good reading year anyways. You're going to read at least one book. Read at least one book. It's fine. But yeah. Bye, guys.